in today's session, so coming to PLC called block inside begin and end, can we write insert commands? Yes or no?
Yeah,
we can
insert
write.
update,
And delete. We can write.
Yeah.
Commit, we can write.
Yeah, TCL.
Can we write select?
That you are going to show today.
Sorry?
That you are covering today, I think.
Yes. So today we are learning the most important point, how to write a select statement in a PLC called block. Write a block to display salary of Alan. Okay. I want to write a block to display salary of Alan. What is salary of Alan? Salary of Alan is 2000. I want a block to display the value 2000. 2000 is a value present in the table. The only way to retrieve the data from the table is by writing a select statement. So the only way to display the value from the table is by writing a select statement. Now we are learning how to write a select statement in a PLC called block. Declare. First, I need one variable to catch the salary of Alan. Okay. So I write variable A, which is of number. Salary of Alan is how much? 2000. Okay. So it's 4 digit. So size 4. One variable. I use this variable to store the salary of Alan. Begin. Begin. Yes.
I think your screen is getting stuck. We couldn't understand.
Screen is not the
Yeah,
synchronized.
we are still at declared A.
Okay.
That's synchronizing.
Is it? Can you see my screen now?
We are at begin now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm at begin. Declare. I have declared one variable A, and I use this variable to store the salary of Alan. Okay. Salary of Alan is 2000. 2000 is 4-digit number, so I write it as 4. Okay. Next. How to display salary? So select star from employee, where employee name equal to what value you want to display?
Alan.
Star will return Alan's employee number, Alan's name, Alan's job, manager, and all these values. I don't want all these values. I want only salary. So don't write star. I want sal. And every select statement, this salary, I want to store it into which variable? This is the value salary which is written by a select statement. I want to store it into A. So select sal into A. Every select statement which you are writing in a PLC called block, you need to have what clause? Into clause. Are you following? Okay.
Yeah.
If you don't write into clause, let's say if you're not writing into clause and I'm just writing n semicolon slash, to get the outputs from the server, first we should write set server output on.
Yeah.
Look here. Read the error message. Into clause is expected in the select statement. Are you understanding? With clause is into clause. Into clause is mandatory. Every select statement when you're writing in a PL SQL block, into clause is mandatory. So I write into which variable I want to store. Jamal, I want to store it into variable A. That's it. And I want to print the salary. So dbms underscore output dot put underscore line. That's it. What is the response you're getting? 2000. Perfect. I have successfully executed select statement in a PL SQL block. How to run select statement in a PL SQL block? When you're running a select statement in a PL SQL block, make sure that the select statement should have what clause? Into clause. Okay. Any doubts in this program?
Fine. Even if we put asterisk also, into will remain as it is, huh?
Into, let's say I want to display I want to display salary and job of Alan. I want to display salary and job of Alan. So this time I want to display two columns. So copy, let's make some changes in this existing code. So Dilavar, now how many variables you need?
Two.
Two variables. One variable A to catch salary, one variable B to catch job, which is of var char 2. Job, let's say size is as 15. Okay. Next, what else changes we need?
Sal comma job.
Select sal comma job into
A comma
A
B.
comma B corresponding. When your select statement is selecting two columns into two local variables. If it is select statement is selecting 10 columns, you need to store it into 10 variables.
Yeah.
Okay.
B. I want to print salary, I want to print job.
We have to maintain the order.
Very important. Order should be maintained because data type mismatch otherwise.
Yeah. It's fine. Achha, okay. If the data type is both are having varchar 2, then
But still, it's all you should know which variable is storing what value as a developer, isn't it? Otherwise, it's you should write program. You should know what variable is used to store what value, isn't it?
yeah, definitely.
Mhm. So is this clear how? So we are successfully writing a select statement in a PL SQL block. Very important. You need to have an into clause. Every select statement should have a into clause.
Okay.
Any doubts in this program? Is this clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Next point. This is not as per the coding standards. Let's follow some coding standards now in PL SQL programming. Next one. Variable name should not be A, B, C like this. Let's have variable name meaningful. Let's say if a variable, according to my coding standards, every variable name should start with V underscore. Okay?
Okay.
Hmm?
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
In that case, V underscore. The coding standard is all the variables should start with V underscore. Okay. Not only this, just V underscore. The variable name, by looking at the name of the variable, you should understand what value it is storing. Don't write V underscore A, V underscore B like this. And let's have variable name meaningful. I want this variable to store salary. So I write it as V underscore sal. I write it as V underscore job. By looking at the name of the variable, you can understand, okay, this variable we are using it for storing job. This variable I'm using it for storing salary. So variable names should be always meaningful. By looking at the variable name, you should understand, okay, this variable is storing so and so value.
Yeah.
Variable naming standards are very, very important. Coffee. Any doubts in the variable naming standards? Okay. Okay.
Sunil, how to recall this procedure? How to open it to modify?
Very good question. This program, how are you running the program? We are copying the program in the notepad. We are writing the program in the notepad. I'm copying the program in the notepad and I'm pasting it and I'm running it. The program is getting executed. But are you saving the program? We are not saving the programs. You know how to write a program and you know how to run the program. You don't know how to save the program. Let's say yesterday we have created one program. Yesterday there was an insert. Yesterday we have created one program which we have executed one program which is calculating sum of two numbers.
Yeah.
I want to run the program sum of two numbers in today's session. Can we run it? How to run it? No, we cannot run it because we have not saved the program. So I am now showing you how to write the programs and how to run the programs. But I'll show you in the coming classes. I'll tell you how to save the program so that you can recall it whenever you want. That saving the programs is nothing but the concept of procedures. The saving the programs is nothing but concept of procedures. Okay. Next.
Sunil, you mean to say through package? Yes or no? Okay. Okay.
It is yes. Next. One important, very important concept. Question for Jamal. V underscore job is a variable. You are using this variable to store what value?
Job.
Job. I'll make some changes. Instead of employee name equal to Alan, can I write employee number equal to 7499?
Yes.
Perfect. So no problem. Next. Instead of 7499, what happens if I use ampersand employee number? Jamal, what will happen? Jamal, we have used yesterday the purpose of the ampersand operator. What is the use of the ampersand operator?
You will put the value of.
It will use it to accept the value from the user.
Yes.
You can directly use an ampersand operator. You can directly embed an ampersand operator in the select statement. When you use ampersand operator, it will prompt for the value. Okay. Look here. Enter a value for employee number. If I pass 7900, if I pass 7900, what is the output you get now? It is 950 and clerk. The program is more dynamic. Whatever the employee number you pass, it is giving you the corresponding employee salary as well as clerk. Okay. No doubt. Is this clear?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
This is how the reports work. Huh?
Yes. So don't worry. When you use ampersand operator, the program is becoming more dynamic. Whatever the employee number you pass, those corresponding salaries and jobs are printed. Instead of employee number, you can hard code instead of ampersand operator, you can also hard code whatever value you want. You can hard code whatever is fine. 7499 or whatever is this information. Let's say I want to pass 7839. Okay. Question for Dilawar. The variable v underscore job is varchar2, and what is the size? 15. Is 15 the right size? Do you think 15 is the right value, or should it be 20?
Depends on
What?
the size of the job.
Depends on a.
Size of the job. I mean, how much the value we are going to. We don't know what is there in the table. What is the size, maximum size?
So how to decide? Is it 15 better or 20 better?
We have to see what is there in the EMP table.
Okay, let us check it. What is there in the employee table? Okay. Now tell me whether 15 is better or 20 is better.
Uh,
How much will be the size of the job column, job variable?
maximum, 9 is there. No,
The
9
highest
correctly.
value, the highest value length is the president, isn't it? The biggest value.
Yeah,
5
president.
plus 4,
9.
9. 9 is the highest value, max highest width.
Yeah.
So 15 is the right size or 9 is the right size?
It is excess. 15 is excess.
So what should be the size of v underscore job?
It should be as per whatever. Maybe now it is president. Maybe again the prime minister comes there, it will get more than 9. So
Yes.
yeah, our procedure will fail then in that case.
So 15 is more better. Always having a better, bigger value is always beneficial.
Yeah.
How to decide the size of the variables when you're writing a program in the real time? Okay. So
Yeah.
for the job, what you should do, describe the employee table. Job is varchar2 of size 9.
9.
So that means this job column cannot have more than 9 characters
9. Correct.
because the column size is 9.
Yeah.
As the column size is 9, the best thing is to write 9.
9.
Salary, number of 7 comma 2. So it's always good practice to write number of 7 comma 2. Are you understanding? So whenever your variable is storing a value from a column, check what is the size of the column. Use the same size in the variables. Are you understanding?
It is,
You're writing something, Salim, because it's not synchronizing.
you are at the disk EMP or we are at the description EMP.
No, I am in the notepad file.
Yeah, okay. We are at
No,
the prompt. Yeah, now. Yeah, fine. We are in the notepad now.
Okay. So for the job 9 is the right size. For salary v 7 comma 2 is the right size. Is this clear how to decide the right size for the variables?
Yeah.
7 comma 2 means?
Jamal?
Yeah, I was asking about the why it became 7 comma 2.
2. Why 7 comma 2 instead of 4? Because this salary variable is storing the value from which column of the employee table?
Salary.
Salary. No, is this clear why I am changing it to 9?
Yeah, that is clear. Yeah.
Why, tell me why I have changed it from 15 to 9?
Because it was maximum.
Because
the
job
maximum,
column can maximum store 9 characters.
yes.
In the same way, salary column can maximum store 7 comma 2. You clear? Salary column can have 7 comma 2.
7-digit figure amount and then
7 comma 2 precision comma scale. I have explained it when I am discussing about the data type, isn't it? 7 member precision comma scale. That means there can be 2 digits allowed after the decimal point and 5 digits allowed before the decimal point.
Yeah, 750.
Yeah, okay, I got it.
Got it? So
Okay.
whenever you are using some variables to store some value from a column, check from what is the data type of that column, use the same size for the variable. Is this point clear?
Okay, yes.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's look at one more program.
You're drinking
This is
coffee?
this is this is based on department table.
Sunil,
Yes.
you're drinking coffee?
Wow. Cappuccino.
We can smell it, huh?
And Dilawar is busy with looking at WhatsApp messages.
No, no, no. My phone is on silent, huh?
But I keep on getting some ringtones or some message tone.
In fact, Jamal also can afford the smartphone.
Yes. Yes, tell
One
me.
thing. Uh, okay, we are going as per the base table, whatever the data size is there. Okay,
Yes.
but
Okay.
suppose by using some command, we can just change the size of the data width of
Yes.
the column also in
Yes.
future. But what about
So
our procedure then? The procedure
I'll
should
come.
also.
Yes.
Okay.
I got your doubt. We'll be understanding that solution now. Okay.
Okay.
Department table is having three columns: department name, and location. Okay. Can you try this? Write a block or write a program which accepts department number and display department name, comma location. So you should write a program. When I run the program, I should get enter a value for department number. If I pass 10, output should be accounting and New York. Almost like the previous program. Previous program is displaying salary and job from the employee table. Now I want to display department and location from the department table. Got it?
Yeah.
Shall we start writing the program? First point,
Yeah.
how many variables you need?
Two.
Two variables. One variable to store the department name, one variable to store the location.
Yeah.
Declare. We know the coding standards. v underscore dname, which is of varchar2. How much should be the size, Jamal?
9.
How much should be the size?
9. Sorry,
9.
first, can we check the
Go to
table?
department table, department name, describe department table.
Yes.
Department name is varchar2 of 14.
Okay.
So here also it should be 14. v underscore location, which is also again varchar2. Location is of how much size? 13. That means location cannot have more than 13 characters. So here also I'm writing it as 13. That's it. Two variables. That's it. End of declare section. Start of begin. Tell me how to write a select statement. Dilawar.
Sunil, there is a disconnection.
Not clear. It's not
No, no, no.
synchronizing.
Yes.
Yeah, it is not synchronizing.
Mhm.
Asynchronization is there.
Maybe today net connection is giving some problem. Is it? Can you see now what you are able to see in the notepad screen?
Begin is there.
Okay. Yes. Finally, right now I'm in begin. How to write a select statement, Jamal? Tell me. Dilawar, tell me. Hello.
No, yeah. We want to display. No, okay. Select
Select
dname,
two columns. Dname, comma
dname, LOC
location into
location into V underscore D name, comma V underscore LOC.
Yes, you're right. It is synchronizing.
At least
from the department table where
the
department
department.
number equal to, can we hardcode 10 like this?
Yes, right.
No, we cannot see, Sunil. We are still at the begin.
Oh,
VLOC is there. Okay, yeah, now it is fine. Now it is where department number equals to
where
10.
department number
Okay, you
equal
hard
to,
code in 10.
we should not hardcode, we
10.
want to accept the department number. How to accept the department number?
Ampersand.
Ampersand, write department number, because
J
whatever you
before.
write after department, after ampersand, there's no importance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Next, dbms underscore output,
Underscore.
put underscore line. First I want to print the department name.
Yeah.
Next I
Single
want to
quote,
print the location.
yeah. D name
That's it.
and
And semicolon slash. As expected, as you have ampersand operator accepts the value for the department number. Enter a value for department number. I pass a value 10. Is it screen synchronizing? Now I'm in SQL star plus environment. I have passed a value 10.
yeah, 10. Yeah, we can see 10.
Yes, so what will be the output? Now when you pass 10, the output will be accounting and New York. I want to run the program one more time.
Slash.
Slash is used to run the program one more time. Yes, enter a value for department number. I pass 20. Now you are getting Dallas Research and Dallas. My program is perfect, accepting the department number, displaying the department name and the location from the department table. Now the new thing what we should learn is using percentage type attribute. Using percentage type attribute. Percentage type attribute is used to declare variables with respect to WRT. Percentage type attribute is used to declare variables with respect to column of a table. With respect to column of a table. What do you mean by with respect to column of a table? Okay, syntax, variable name. You should write table name dot column name percentage type. Okay, so for example, v underscore d name is a variable name, should have what data type? V underscore d name should have the department name column in the department table. So dpt dot table name is department table dot in which column? Department table, department name, d name, percentage.
Sunil,
Attribute.
not synchronizing.
It's not synchronizing.
Yeah, we will,
Sorry.
shall we reconnect better from our side?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yes, best. What I'll do, yeah, please disconnect the meeting and rejoin again.
Okay. Apparently. Yes, Sunil.
Yeah, Dilavar.
Yeah, yeah, we could see this. We could see
I
the
have
screen.
highlighted. Okay, fine. So the point is, we are now learning how to use percentage type attribute. Now, percentage type attribute is used to declare variables with respect to column of a table. For example, whenever you're declaring a variable to store department name, which is present in the department table, instead of hard coding varchar2 of varchar2 of size 14, it's always better to write table name dot column name percentage type. Department table, department name percentage type. It's almost like equal to writing varchar2 of size 14. Is this clear? So here, instead of hard coding varchar2 of size 14, I write department table dot dname percentage type. Clear? Dilavar?
No, we cannot see. There is no typing going.
Oh, gone. Problem with the screen sharing.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not showing my screen. Sorry.
yeah. We can see the cursor movement. Yeah.
Okay. Now, so using percentage type attribute. We use percentage type attribute. Dilawar, this was the answer for your question. We use percentage type attribute to declare variables with respect to column of a table. For example, we want to declare a variable department VD name, which is storing the value of department name from the department table. Instead of hard coding varchar2 of size 14, it's always good practice. Anyways, it is varchar2 of 14. It's always good practice. Instead of hard coding varchar2 of 14, it's always best practice to write table name dot column name percentage type. That means whatever the data type is there in the department name column, the same data type is applied for the variable. Is this clear, my explanation? So that means don't hard code varchar2 of 14. Instead of varchar2 of 14, you should write department dot dname percentage type. Clear?
Yeah.
Dilavar. For
Yeah.
v
So
underscore location, what? How to write percentage type attribute? Tell me.
DPT dot LOC percentage type.
DPT, yes, perfect. Department dot column name LOC percentage type. That
Type.
means whatever the data type is there in the LOC column, the same data type and the same size will be applied to this particular variable. So if a developer by using alter command, if he increases the department name from varchar2 of size 14 to varchar2 of size 20, okay. Anyways, by using alter command, we can increase the size of the column, isn't it? So if
Right.
anybody increases the size of the column, automatically that will be applied for this particular variable. If anybody
Okay.
increases the size, the automatically it will apply. If anybody decreases the size of the column, it will applied to this particular column dynamically. So that's how in the real time, wherever you are declaring the variables, if you are storing the values from a particular column of a table, we use percentage type attribute. Clear
Yeah.
how to write percentage type attribute?
Fine.
Jamal?
Yes, clear.
Okay.
Instead of this DPT, can we use uh, table alias here?
No, you should not use table. You should write table name dot column name percentage type.
Okay.
Now here, question for Jamal. For v underscore job, what should be the, how can I use percentage type attribute? V underscore job.
Job EMP dot job. What's that percentage?
Percentage type. That's it.
Yeah.
Table name dot column name percentage type. Perfect. So that's how we use percentage type attribute for declaring the variables. Okay. Clear understanding the percentage type attribute. Okay.
Yeah. Fine.
Perfect. Shall we move to next program?
Yeah.
Now we are learning write a program which accepts employee number, and display. Employee name, job, hire date, how many columns I want to display? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns I want to display. Let's start this writing the program. Declare. How many variable needs here? How many variable names we need? How many variables we need? Jamal.
4. 4.
Huh? I want to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns.
Sorry, 5.
5. How to have the variable names? Variable name coding standards v underscore
Ename.
ename, v underscore job, v underscore hire date, v underscore sal, v underscore department number. Okay. What should be the data type and size? Don't worry, blindly write table name dot column name percentage type. Jamal, tell me. emp dot
Ename.
percentage type.
Type, yeah.
That's it. Employee dot job percentage type. Employee dot
Hire date.
hire date percentage type. Employee dot sal percentage type. Employee dot department number percentage type.
Sunil, this date data type, it's fixed. We don't give any number over there. But still, for practice, we are putting this hire date also. Correct?
Please repeat.
What I mean, date data type itself is a fixed data type. We don't put any size.
No, there is no size, but there is a data type. Instead of writing date data type, just write emp dot table name percentage type. So if it is as there is no size, size is not applied. If there is a size, size is applied. Anyways, there is no
Even
scope
if you
for
don't, yeah, that's what.
yeah. But always, once you're always habituated to write table name dot column name percentage type. Okay.
Yeah, correct.
Next, Dilavar, how to write a select statement?
Begin. Select all the 5 columns.
Okay. Select column 1. Select ename, comma job, comma hire date, comma sal, comma.
Yeah, all 5.
Five columns into 5 variables.
Yeah,
corresponding variables.
Yeah.
Are understanding from employee table where employee number equal to what should be the employee number that should be passed by the user? Ampersand.
EMP number.
Perfect. Next.
Right. And or print it and end.
Two, three, four, 5. Sorry. Seven, 499. If I'm passing support for 499, client name, job, and all this, perfect. Is this clear how to write percentage type attribute and how to write a select statements in a PLC called block? Okay. Now,
Yeah.
I can improve this program. I can improve this program by using percentage row type attribute. We are learning a new concept, that is percentage row type attribute. Last time what we have used is percentage type attribute, which is used for declaring the variables. Now I am using percentage row type attribute. Row type attribute is used to declare variable which can store complete row from the table. A row type attribute is used to declare a variable which can store complete row from the table. Example syntax: variable name, table name, percentage row type. Example: variable name A, emp percentage row type. What does that mean? My variable A is called what type of variable? It is a row type variable. A variable A is a row type variable in my example. How the row type variables looks like? This is how a row type variable looks like. What is a row type variable? In our example, the row type variable is Jamal, it is A. My variable is associated to which table? Employee table row type. That means in employee table, it can store one row of an employee table. Employee table is having how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. One variable can store complete row of an employee table. So that's how you can use a row type variable. Is this clear about row type variable?
Yeah.
Okay. Now can I use a row type variable in the previous program? I rewrite the previous program using the row type variable. Row type variable is very comfortable. Okay. Don't declare 5 variables. Instead declare one variable emp percentage row type. Next. Select. Don't write 5 columns. Select star. Star means Jamal, how many columns are selected? All the columns.
Okay.
Into every select statement should have what clause? Into, is there any variable which can store all the values of a one column, one row?
A.
A.
Into A form EM.
Where employee number equal to ampersand employee number.
So no need to write all.
That's it. Star will select how many columns? All the columns from the employee table. And we know variable A will store all the values, 8 columns it can store, because it can store one row of an employee table. A row type variable can store one row of an employee table, one complete row of an employee table. What happens when I write A, Dilavar? How many values are printed? Do you think all the values are printed? No. We cannot print a row type variable. If you want, you can print a particular column in the row variable. You need to pinpoint a particular column in the row type variable. If you want to display employee name, you should write a dot column name. Alan. Now I want to print Alan's salary. How to refer salary? Row type variable name dot column name salary. Jamal, are you understanding? I want to print hire date. A dot hire date. I want to print job. Row type variable name dot column. You cannot directly print a row type variable. Instead, you can print one column of a row type variable, department number. Now I'm printing 5 columns. My row type variable is having 8 values, but I'm printing only the values what I want in my program. Oh, sorry. Enter employee number 7499. Are you able to get the 5 values? Perfect. Is this clear? My row type variable is having, so the purpose, instead of declaring individual variables, it becomes a tedious job for a developer, isn't it, Jamal? Declaring individual variables like this and writing very long select statements. Instead, just write one variable which can store all the values of all the values of a particular row, and then print whatever the values you want by referring variable row type variable name dot column name. Clear about how to use the row type variable?
Yeah, this one in declaration and in select query, number of columns and those things have reduced. But in the print, it is same like, I mean, there is no change
Yes.
other than
There is
a
no
dot.
change. There is no change because, as I said, here the environment is SQL star plus. That's the reason we are printing it. But normally front end will be Oracle Forms, isn't it? Where we print the values on a particular field. So that is all handled in the front end development technology. Okay.
Yeah.
Jamal, clear about how to declare variables? There are two attributes which are used for declaring the variables. One is percentage type, the other one is percentage row type. Percentage type, one variable. Percentage row type can store complete row of an employee table.
Okay, clear.
Dilavar, I think your doubt is clear. If anybody changes the size of the column, yes, dynamically the local variable size will also change when you use percentage type attribute.
Yeah.
Okay,
Correct. Yeah.
perfect. Next, I write the program. Tell me the output of this program. So when is your India trip to India? Dilavar.
Just exactly 1 month is there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. At the end of the Ramzan, approximately.
Yeah, almost end of the Ramadan.
Okay. Jamal, when are you coming to India?
If you send me a return ticket, then I will come.
Okay. Get ready for the return ticket. Jamal, when are you calling me to Oman? Whenever you
Maybe
buy the ticket by yourself.
join Trevor on his return here.
I will buy the ticket for you. You buy the ticket for me. Employee number I'm passing 7654. Observe the salary is 1250. Ending the program by writing a thank you message. Dilavar, I run this program. Program execution starts from begin. The first output is
Welcome.
next. Salary of 7654 will be stored into the variable vsal. Salary of 7654 is
1250.
1250, and then the output is the
The salary is dot 1250.
1250. Next.
Thank you.
Next, a confirmation message saying that the PLS SQL program is successfully completed. Perfect. Welcome. The salary is 1250. Thank you. As expected. Now I'll make some changes in the program. Where employee number equal to 9999. We don't have 9999. So output Dilavar. First welcome is printed, no doubt, because program execution starts from begin. Welcome is printed. There is no employee number 799999. Employee number is not available in the employee table. So next.
No rows found. I mean, welcome, and then the sal will not be there anyway. Welcome and thank you.
What about this values? Whatever you write it in single quotes, is it printed or not?
Yeah, it will be printed. The sal is dot.
And that's it. Null value is printed. Null, and then.
Thank you.
Jamal, do you agree with this output, or you have any other change, other output?
I agree because the query is correct, but in the table, yeah, in the table,
look at the output of the program. Welcome is printed. There is no the salary is not printed. You don't have thank you. You don't have confirmation message PL SQL process successfully. You got an error. Program has ended up with error. Program has been abnormally terminated. Okay. So in the above case, welcome is printed, and then you get an error. And very important note, program is abnormally terminated. Now tell me when the programs will be abnormally terminated. Your PL SQL program is abnormally terminated when a select statement does not return any data. Keep this in mind.
Okay.
When the programs are successful when the select statement is returning the data. If it is not returning the data, then the program will fail.
Yeah, but whereas in update, select, and update.
No, update, select, all the DML commands, no matter whether the row is updated or not, the program are successful. This case is only for the select statements.
Yeah.
What I have explained you, please observe. This is, I have marked it as case 1. Now I am explaining about case 2. This question is for Jamal. Select sal into v underscore sal where instead of employee number, I am writing where department number equal to 30.
30 is there.
Department number equal to 30. Select sal into employee table where department number equal to 30 in employee table. How many rows we have at department number 30? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many rows we have with department number 30? Select star from EMP where department number equal to 30. We have 6 rows. You have 6 salaries. How many rows the select statement will return?
6.
6. So what will be the output? You have 6 salaries printed. First welcome is printed. Because the program execution starts from begin. Select salary from the employee table where department number equal to 30. In department number 30, it's not one salary. Your select statement is returning 6 values. A variable can store only one value.
Row type.
Then you will use the row type.
Row type will store one row, only one row of multiple columns. But here the case is like this. Are you understanding?
Yes.
6 salaries. Row type will store one row only. So row type is not the solution. So welcome, and then you get an error. Same case, program is terminated abnormally.
Okay.
Okay, look at the output. Welcome is printed. This is a proof, Dilavar. Why I am
Yeah.
writing welcome? To give you a proof that the program execution has started, and then
Yeah.
you get an error, and you are not getting a confirmation message because the program has been terminated abnormally. This is case 2. In 2 cases, the select statement will fail. Case 1, when select statement is not returning any data. Case 2, when select statement returns more than one row.
Yeah.
When the select statements are successful, very important, select statements are successful only when it returns exactly one row. Select
This one.
statement is
You can have this one.
successful
This is
when it returns
maybe it is these two rooms.
select statement is successful when it returns exactly one row. When it is returning no rows, failure. When it is returning more than one row is also a failure.
Really.
So you know, yesterday you don't know how to write a select statement. Today you know how to write a select statement, but the select statement should exactly returns only one row. Then the select statements are successful. Otherwise the select statements will fail. Clear? Clear about this?
Yeah.
Any doubts in writing a select statement? So this is all about writing select statements in PL SQL block. I think now you're in a position to write select statements in PL SQL block.
Yeah.
Any queries in all these examples? Practice. You should also spend some time practicing all this. Make yourself hands-free with the syntax. When you are listening, you feel very comfortable. Only when you start writing, you have a number of doubts. Okay. When you start practicing, you'll get more number of doubts.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we are moving to the next concept. Now we are moving to the next concept, that is exceptions. Now we are moving to the next concept, that is exceptions. Shall we have a 10-minute break?
Yeah. Yeah. No issues. Yeah. So you're looking. Timer.
Okay, let's have a break.
Yeah.
10 minutes. Okay, thank you, Dilavar Jamal.
Okay. अगर तो जो है रखी है अपन
I'm back. Dilavar.
Yeah, we didn't go anywhere.
Okay. So let's continue.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are now moving to next concept of PL SQL, that is exceptions. Now what are exceptions? Runtime errors, okay, are called exceptions. Runtime errors are called exceptions. Types of exceptions. Predefined, non-predefined, user-defined. Three types of exceptions: predefined exceptions, non-predefined exceptions, and user-defined exceptions. Out of these three types, predefined are important, user-defined are important. First one and last one is frequently used when you're working in projects also. Non-predefined is not at all important. We don't much use it. But still, let us discuss all the three types of exceptions. So what do you mean by an exception? A runtime error is called as an exceptions. To start with, let us learn the first type of exceptions. Those are predefined exceptions. Now, these exceptions have exception name and exception number. So predefined exceptions have exception name and exception number. Okay, no problem. I'll explain this. The following are examples of predefined exceptions. We have no underscore data underscore found, too many rows, duplicate, sorry, zero divide, value error, duplicate val on index. These examples are called as what? Predefined exceptions. These five examples are examples of predefined exceptions. Let us understand all these examples. Okay. To start with, let us understand what is about no data found exception. Okay. Dilaver, in two cases the select statements will fail, isn't it? What is case one?
Case one, no data found, too many rows. Yeah, if it is multiple results are coming, yeah, select will fail.
No, when the select statement will fail, first case, when select statement is not returning any data, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. If it results in a nil data, then it will fail, and if it is
Exactly.
returning more than one, then it will also fail.
Okay. Look at this example. Begin first sample output, helping us to understand the program execution has been started. Select sal into the variable vsal from the employee table where employee number equal to 9999. and then the salary is VSAL, and then a message. Thank you. Dilavar, output of this program.
0 rows.
Hmm?
0
First,
rows.
welcome.
Welcome. It will error. It will
Program
error,
has been terminated abnormally.
yeah.
Now, why the program has been terminated abnormally, you should understand the reason. Welcome, and then you got an error. Program has been terminated abnormally, and please read the message. No data
No.
found. In this program, exception is raised. There is an exception that is raised. What exception is raised? No data found exception is raised in the program. As an exception is raised, once an exception is raised, control, so when this no data found exception is raised, no
Hello.
Sunil.
How you are managing? You are taking.
So night, maybe hardly 4 hours or 4 hours or 5 hours on the bus. But still, I'm just standing.
During your lecture, afternoon also training off. That's why I stopped in taxation because I'm already confused here and I will confuse myself in taxation.
Learning, I mean, can be done anyway. I mean, but the thing is, I mean, it should, at least in 1 year, it should benefit us.
Okay.
Going for, I mean, just like training which is not relevant, like that. I mean,
Like
till-
this taxation is too early, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for you, I'm saying, but because understanding concept, if you're free, then fine. When you're spending time there, when your energy is going down, when here is important. You understand?
Yes, yes.
So then that energy, if this energy is going that side, then we have to manage. But I have to be there, part of both. So,
And you will be focal point.
local point, all main point, all point.
So you should be the person who will observe. They have video, right?
They also have the video, but this is rules based. What Sunil is teaching us, it's a rule based. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some set of rules out there. But in taxation, Sunil, Sunil, just mention, are you there? So,
Hello?
Yes, Sunil.
Yeah, network failure.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no problem.
Okay. So we are learning about the first type of exception, no data found. So I hope it is very clear, Dilavar, when the no data found exception is raised. Here the no data found exception is raised when the select statement is not returning any data. And observe, as I said, the program is terminated abnormally, but understand the reason why the program has been terminated abnormally. It's because here at line number 7, an exception is raised. Once an exception is raised, it is the developer's responsibility to catch the exception by using the
Yeah.
exception section. In the beginning class, PL/SQL, we have learned that the PL/SQL block is having 3 sections: declare section, executable section, exception section. We are always writing declare section for declaring the variables, and we are writing an executable sections. But you should also have an exception section. It's our developer's responsibility to write the exception section to catch the exceptions which may rise. So here, as we are not writing an exception section, as you are not catching the exception, the program has been terminated abnormally. So no data found. This exception is raised when select statement returns no rows. Okay. How to handle the exception? We can handle the exception by writing exception section. How to write the exception section? Exception section starts with the keyword exception followed with when. You should write the exception handler. What we need to write? We need to write the exception handler. The exception handler is no underscore data underscore found. Then I give a meaningful messages to the end user. I give a meaningful message to the end user saying that employee number is invalid or whatever it is. Are you understanding? Now what will be the output of the program? Now when you run the program, program execution starts from begin. First welcome is printed, and now control comes to next line. Select statement gets executed. Select statement will not return any data. An exception is raised. No data found exception is raised. Once an exception is raised, lines after the exception will not be executed. Very, very important. Once an exception is raised, there may be 100 lines after the exception. The lines after the exception will not be executed. Control jumps to the exception section, checks for the appropriate handler. Is it appropriate handler? Handler is nothing but the exception name, nothing new. Exception handler is nothing but the exception name. So you should write the appropriate exception name. Yes, it is appropriate exception name. So control exception is catched, and the output will be after welcome. The output will be employee number is invalid. As you are properly catching the exception, you will get a confirmation message from the server saying that the PL/SQL procedure is successfully completed. Okay, look at the output. Welcome, and the employee number is invalid. That means line number 16 is executed. That means control has entered to the exception section. That means what exception is raised? No data found exception is raised. Now tell me, Jamal, when no data found exception is raised?
When you are receiving, when there is error.
When the not error, when select statement does not return any row, then no data found exception is raised. Okay.
Okay.
Any doubts, Dilavar?
Yeah, this in exception we have given when and then no data found. Is there
Yes.
any word something like that?
Syntax, you need to compulsory use the clause when followed with the exception name. Compulsory.
This no data found, can I make it no information found also?
No, it is predefined. No underscore data underscore found is a predefined word. Okay, it's a keyword that is the name of the exception. Okay, for example, cannot write no, let's say
Not in predefined.
no info found.
Even no Dilawar found will not be accepted.
Because Dilawar is here. In India,
Error. Identifier must be declared. Nita is unable to understand what is this no information found. So no underscore data underscore found is a predefined exception. Okay? That's a predefined exception. You need to use that no underscore data underscore found is a predefined exception that is raised when select statement does not return any row.
yeah.
So we have now learned about the first example of predefined exception, no data found. Let us learn too many rows. Dilawar, you can understand when too many rows exception is raised.
When we are
Can you
using
guess?
when we are using the row type, when we are
Not
using
row
the row,
type.
when the result is coming more than one record.
Exact. Not result. When select statement, say select statement, you need to use the word select statement. When select statement returns more than one row.
Yeah.
When select statement returns more than one row. Example. The same example. First line is a welcome line. Next, write a select statement which returns more than one row. In department number 10, it's not one employee, you have multiple employees. 1, 2, 3, 4. Output of the program is welcome and error. And the message what you're getting, exact fetch returns more than requested number of rows. Last time the message was very clear, no data found. Here the message is not clear, you are not getting too many rows. But understand that this exception is raised when select statement is returning more than one row. Okay, so too many rows exception is raised. Now how to handle the exception? You know how to handle the exception by writing an exception section. Jamal, how to write the exception section? Exception section starts with the keyword exception, when followed with the exception handler.
Yeah,
Exception handler is nothing but the exception name. Exception name is 2 underscore.
Too many rows.
Then dbms underscore output dot put underscore line. I give a meaningful message to the end user, something like please check select statement. Please check the you're getting welcome and please check the select statement. That means Jamal, line number 15 is executed. That means control has entered to exception section. What exception is raised? Too many rows exception is raised. I hope it is very clear when the too many rows exception is raised. When select statement returns more than one row. There are two cases. As I said, there are two cases when the select statements will fail. Case 1 is nothing but Case 1 is nothing but no data found exception. Case 2 is nothing but too many rows exception. Both the exceptions are related to what statements? The select statements. Clear? Let's learn the third type of exception, zero divide. You can easily guess what is zero divide exception. This exception is raised when you try to divide a value by 0. One minute, please. Okay, I'm back. Whenever we try to divide a value by 0, in that case we get zero divide exception. Let's try to understand. Declaring a variable which is of number of size, any size, that's not a problem. Begin. Can you see my screen, Jamal?
Yes.
Yeah. First, as usual, welcome message. And a colon equal to 10 by 0. I'm trying to divide a value by 0 just to understand when the exception is raised. Start when you run the program. It's a very simple, if you like, look at this very simple program. Program execution starts from begin. Welcome is printed. Exception is raised. Program execution starts from begin. Line number 6 is executed. Welcome is printed. Control enters to line number 7. When you're trying to divide by 0, exception is raised. When an exception is raised, line number 8 will not be executed. Control checks for the exception section. As there is no exception section, your program is terminated abnormally, giving an error message. Okay, what is the message? Divisor is equal to 0. How to handle the exception? Yes, we can handle the exception. We have done it by writing the exception section. When appropriate handler, exception handler is nothing but the exception name. When 0 underscore divide, then giving meaningful messages to the user. dbms underscore output dot put underscore line. I give a meaningful message to the debugging information saying that do not divide by 0. Look at the output. Welcome and do not divide by 0, and the confirmation message process successfully completed. Perfect. Okay. So when this divide by 0 divide exception is raised, when you try to divide a value by 0, at that point of time 0 divide exception is raised. Value error.
Sunil,
Yes.
Suppose, can we give multiple exceptions? All
Yes.
three. Okay.
Yes, we can have multiple exceptions also. Okay, you can write when too many rows, when zero divide. It's because there may be chances that any exception can raise. It can be too many rows, it can be zero divide. So if it is too many rows, this is catched. If zero divide, second one is catched. Okay. I'll give you one example. I'll give you after completing all the 5 types of predefined exceptions. Okay. After completing value error and then duplicate value index, and then I'll show you how to have multiple exceptions.
Yeah, there is nothing like exception predefined. All should come when it instead of we defining all 5.
One handler which can handle all the types of exceptions.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yes, we have it. That is called universal exception handler. Others.
oh,
Okay. I'll tell you.
oh, okay.
Okay, that's the best one.
We have one handler which can handle all the exceptions instead of writing each and every exception. Okay. That
Yeah.
is also used in real time. I'll tell you. Value error. This exception is raised when there is mismatch with
Data type.
Data type of variable, data type or size of the variable. I'll give you an example. Let's give a valid employee number, something like valid employee number equal to 7369. Okay. V underscore salary where employee name. Let's try to understand the program. Program execution starts from begin. Program execution starts to begin. First welcome is printed. Jamal, selecting employee name into vsal. Vsal is number data type. Employee name is varchar2. There is mismatch between the data type of the variable. So in that case, value error exception is raised. Once an exception is raised, control jumps to the exception section. As there is no exception section, the program has terminated abnormally. Okay, I'm sorry. Semicolon is missing. As there is mismatch between the data type of the variables, so program has been terminated abnormally, giving a message numeric or value error. So when this value error exception is raised, Jamal, when the data type mismatch is there between the variable, select statement is returning varchar2 data type, but the variable is number data type. So there is a mismatch between the variables. So in that case, value error exception is raised. How to handle the value error? Very simple. When value underscore error, then I give a meaningful message.
Value mismatch.
DBMS underscore output dot put underscore line. I give a meaningful message data type mismatch. Exception, you need to use a keyword exception. When value error, then the data type mismatch. Welcome and data type mismatch. So value error exception is raised. So it's very clear there's a problem with the data type. This is case one, problem with data type. Now case two, problem with size. V underscore ename. V underscore ename. Seven three six nine employee name. 7369 is Smith. It is five letters long. The variable can store only four letters. Here the problem is not the data type. The problem is with the size. In that case also you get a data type or size mismatch. So there are the two cases where the value error exception is raised, when there is mismatch with the data type or when there is mismatch with size. To overcome this data type or mismatch size problems, we always use percentage type attribute. Whenever you use percentage type attribute, there is no scope for data type mismatch or a size mismatch. Okay, any doubts, Dilavar?
No.
The last one, duplicate value on index. When the duplicate value on index exception is raised, this exception is raised when we try to insert a row, insert a duplicate value in primary key, because we know primary key will not accept duplicates in primary key or unique constraint. So these are the two cases where the duplicate value on index exception is raised. Let's try to understand with an example. I create a table with a primary key. Hello?
Yes,
Yes, Vinay.
Can you hear me? Looks like again the network.
but that's thinking. Okay, now it's okay.
creating a table. And applying what constraint? Primary key. It is very clear that primary key will not accept duplicates. I'm inserting these two records. Both the two records are valid records. Inserting one more record, we know we can write an insert command in a PLC called block, but try to understand, I'm writing a duplicate value. I'm trying to insert a duplicate value in a primary key constraint. When you run this block is a single line statement, but this single line statement will give you an exception. Will give you an, you are not getting a successful message. This is giving an exception. It is exception is raised in this program. Okay, so so it's only one line statement, so you can understand what line is raising an exception. Jamal, the insert command is writing an exception. So can I handle the exception? Yes. When duplicate val on index. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we are listening.
DBMS underscore output underscore line. I give a meaningful message. Do not insert duplicates. Yes. Now run the same block. You're getting a message, do not insert duplicates. This helps you to understand that control has entered to the exception section, and what exception is this? Duplicate value on index. By looking at the name, you can understand duplicate value, in which constraint duplicates are not allowed, you primary and unique constraint. So when you try to insert a duplicate value in a primary key or unique constraint, then the duplicate value on index exception is raised. So these are all the predefined exceptions. These are all runtime errors. Okay, these are all predefined exceptions. No data found, too many rows are related to select statement.
Sunil?
No data found, too many rows are related to select statement. Zero divide when you try to divide by zero. Value error, there is mismatch with the data type and variable. Duplicate when you try to insert a duplicate in a primary key or unique. Yes, Dilaver.
The last exception, it has to be on the primary or unique key. I cannot have it on the normal table which doesn't have primary key like the constant.
Normal table, the program will be successful.
Which doesn't have any constraint, but still I put this, how will it
Okay,
be?
normal table, look at this. Dilaver.
Yeah.
Creating table student 6. No primary key.
Yeah, correct.
Normal table without constraint. Table 6, inserting 2 rows.
Yeah.
And here I am writing inserting into table 6. Duplicate value. I delete this code.
Okay.
Table created.
Yeah.
2 rows are inserted. As of now, how many rows are there in the table? Select star from student 6. 2 rows. And this will help you to insert which row? Third row.
Yeah.
Success.
Okay, now what I mean to say, after insert, if you have an exception saying that duplicates is not allowed, so will it work?
No. You're talking about including these lines of code in this PLC code.
Yeah, including the exception. No
Yes, I have
duplicate.
included.
Yeah, now it is. Can we try now?
Do you think do you think duplicate value on index exception is raised now, Dilaver?
Yeah, because I mean we are not giving any condition like uniqueness should be there. So, but still this exception will work. The duplicate should not be there.
This exception is raised only when you try to insert a duplicate in primary key constraint or unique constraint. Right now, table is not having primary key constraint or unique constraint, so the PLC call block will get executed successfully. Previously, table is having 3 rows. Now the table is having 4 rows. Exception is not raised because when the duplicate value problem, you will get it only when it is a primary key. Okay. Otherwise, exception is not raised.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Fine. In one procedure, can
Clear?
we have, yeah, this is fine. One procedure, can we have one select and then the result of it to be, I mean, if the result is there, then it should update something like in one procedure.
Could you repeat the question?
Suppose we are using the select query, okay, within the PLC procedure. That it brings one record, for example. Based upon that record, based upon that variable,
Value
whatever value it is holding, that should be, I mean,
updated.
that's you got it. What I mean?
Using that value should be updated in a sum table.
Some table or a new
Yeah, you can
record.
do that. You anyways you are catching that value in a variable, isn't it?
Yeah.
That variable you write it in update command.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Same
Right.
like C or something.
Same like yes. Okay. Okay. So this is all about predefined exceptions. The second type user non-predefined. The three types actually: predefined, non-predefined, user-defined. Non-predefined, user-defined. Let's continue other types of exceptions in the next session. Okay, Dilavar and Jamal. Same
Yeah,
time
okay.
tomorrow.
Yeah, same time. We will be on time, inshallah. And that
Okay.
A dot star, you said you will explain more?
That's very simple. For example,
Just all exceptions.
No, that is in the
Next
joins. No, joins. There was some topic. How to write which column to be taken from the table.
select star from department table. Dilavar.
Yeah.
Giving you 3 columns. I want one more column, row num.
We columns. Okay.
How many columns output you get at Dilavar?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Instead of writing all the 3 columns, you can write star. Star will give you all the 3 columns.
Okay.
Okay. But this will not work. You need to create a table alias D and write D dot star.
Okay.